what is it going to take to bring inflation down to 2%? Now, everything that I say is going to run on that premise. It's assuming that the Federal Reserve Bank is going to stick with their word of wanting to bring inflation down to 2%, because there's always a chance that the Federal Reserve Bank can pivot. And by pivot, I mean that they say, you know what? Inflation hasn't come down to 2% yet, but the economy, unemployment, jobs are becoming a bigger concern. So instead of working to bring inflation down, we, the Fed, are going to pivot and we're going to cut interest rates. That way we can stimulate and boost the economy, or we're going to print money that we can stimulate and boost the economy. The Fed could do that. If the Fed makes that sort of pivot, well, that could boost the economy in the short term, but then that would also make the inflation problem worse. And if that happens, that's going to completely change the trajectory of our economy, our currency, and really everything to do with building wealth, because, well, inflation is a real problem. And inflation disproportionately hurts people who are financially uneducated. It disproportionately hurts the poor. It disproportionately hurts the middle class. And it disproportionately benefits the wealthy and the investors, which is where you would see a bigger divide between the haves and the have-nots. So everything that I say from now on is going to be on the premise that the Fed is going to stick true with their word, with their promise of wanting to bring inflation down to 2%. That's what they have been saying for years now. So if the Fed wants to bring inflation down to 2%, what are their tools to do that? Well, the Federal Reserve Bank doesn't have fairy dust to bring inflation down. And in order to bring inflation down, they have to cool down demand. So now, to understand what that means, you got to understand what is inflation. Inflation comes from the word inflate. What are you inflating when you have inflation? We are inflating the monetary supply. We're inflating how much money is out there. So now, when there's more money out there, more people have the ability to spend. And when people have the ability to spend more money, that means more and more people are going to want to go out and buy a home. So now, if more and more people want to go out and buy a home, you're going to see more bidding wars. If there are more bidding wars on homes, well, that pushes home prices higher. This is what we've been seeing happen. When you have these bidding wars and home prices go higher, that then goes on the inflation report saying home prices have gone up so significantly, and then that also pushes up inflation, the inflation numbers that we see. So now when you see this higher inflation numbers, that's when the Federal Reserve Bank says, okay, we need to now raise interest rates to bring inflation down. That way we can cool down demand. So now when interest rates go up, mortgage rates go up, now people, before they go out to make an offer on a home, they think twice. You know what? I don't want to pay these higher mortgage rates to buy a home. Maybe we'll rent a little bit longer. Or maybe we won't move out right now. We're just going to stay here for a little bit. That way now, instead of having 40 offers to buy a home, maybe you have 10 offers or 2 offers or no offers on your home. And now what happens? Well, if there's less demand of people wanting to buy a home, you see less upwards movement in home prices, which means now if there's less upward movement in home prices, the inflation report says that home prices haven't grown as much. So you see a lower CPI number, a lower inflation number, which then signals to the Federal Reserve Bank that the higher interest rates are working. Well, what we've been seeing happen up until now is that the Federal Reserve Bank has clearly worked to increase interest rates significantly. I mean, over the last 18 months or so, interest rates have gone from essentially 0 to 5 and some change %. So interest rates have gone up very quickly. And that also means that the cost of borrowing money has gone up very quickly. And because it's happened so fast, we have yet to really see the full impact of the higher interest rates. Some economists and studies say that it takes 12 to 18 months for an interest rate hike's impact to be felt. We started raising interest rates approximately 18 months ago, which means we're really starting to see the impacts of the early interest rate hikes now, but we haven't seen the impact of the later interest rate hikes yet. That has yet to come. Now, what is the impact of lower demand and higher interest rates? Well, it goes back to understanding, how does our economic system work? Our economic system runs on spending. We've done a ton of deep dives of this on Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, which is why if you haven't joined Market Briefs yet, I highly recommend you do so. Yes, I am very biased because I created Market Briefs, but I also read Market Briefs every morning, and it's an easy way for you to stay up to date on what's happening with things like our economy, inflation, the housing market, the stock market, even crypto and the global economy. That way you're not blindsided about what's happening in the economy. We keep it unbiased. That way you can avoid all the sensationalism, and it's a really fun read. So if you haven't joined Market Briefs yet, it's completely free. And I got the link to how you can join my newsletter for free down in the description below. If you enjoyed this short clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, if you're interested in learning more about how to start generating passive income, our team put together an amazing guide on how to start generating passive income for free. All you gotta do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.